Hey, what's up, everybody? End of the day, heading home. Tired as itchy double toothpicks. Uh, but I wanted to do a quick video because as I thought about it the other day, I've done a lot of videos on a lot of different things, but I felt like I needed to address this issue because sometimes where we are in this country, we're a little bit spoiled, and we need a reality check, really, for real, for real. I wanted to share with you guys some of my experiences I had when I was in Maryland. And here again, I'm on the road making moves, so you might see a little bump here and there. But I've been through a lot of shit in my life that I don't really talk about. And sometimes people question the way I maneuver, why I do things the way I do them, why sometimes I don't participate in certain things that most people do. And most time people don't understand what makes me who I am. These severe experiences that I've been through have shaped me and molded me in a way that it's difficult to explain if you've never been through something like that yourself. It's just tremendously difficult to explain to the average person. Just to begin, when I was in Maryland, one of the things that I experienced was a business loss, a couple of business losses. I lost a couple of houses, several cars, lost everything I owned. House with a swimming pool, basketball court, 4-level joint sitting up on a hill with 21 cherry blossoms running down the curb. Dream home. And I lost a couple of nice places down there, and a couple of nice places that I lost down there. And it wasn't drugs, it wasn't mismanagement, it was just trusting people that maybe I shouldn't have trusted. Everybody says hallelujah and amen, don't really love the Lord. Learned that the hard way. And sometimes the person that you think is your best friend could be your worst enemy. It could be your biggest hater, man. The person you think is your friend. In any case, when I found myself in a situation where, I lost my trusting somebody, trusting a guy I shouldn't have trusted, took a severe financial loss and lost my business. And then that began kind of a downward slide. The house, the cars, And what happens is you go through a form of depression and you don't even know that you're depressed. Most people of color, most melanated people, we don't, go to a counselor. We don't get therapy. We might go see the pastor. We might go talk it out with our friends, but these are things that we don't do a lot of times that we need to do. I went through a period of depression, anger, because of this whole situation, losing my business and my house, trusting people, and them letting me down. And it was quite devastating. But I'm a good person with a good heart. Always try to help everybody, love everybody. Be there for everybody else's church, everybody else's school, everybody else's organization, support this, that, and the other. And in any case, sometimes the things that you think are the worst things that can happen to you are often the best things that can happen to you. Like take for example, one point in time, I lost a couple houses, so I went through this twice. One point in time, I had a Lincoln Navigator that was probably the most expensive bed I ever had because I was sleeping in it. And I'll never forget one time I was going from Maryland into Virginia. And I was going through this downtown area near this park where I used to camp out and sleep inside my truck. For me, I just wasn't letting them take my vehicle. I don't care how many months behind I was. I was not going to be on the park bench. I wasn't, you know what I mean? But in any case, I was going to one of my spots and it was actually too early, so I was kind of cruising through town, killing time on my way to this spot down by the park that I would go sit at the park, you know, sit on the bench until it got dark, and then I'd go back and get my truck and, you know. Anyway, I was coming through a little downtown area. It was very populated, Alexandria, Virginia, you know, a lot of people, some money over there. You know, a lot of activity, a lot of businesses and restaurants and whatever. I'm coming through town, cruising slowly through the street, and I come up to a stop sign. I put my foot on my brake, and my brake goes all the way to the floor. And needless to say, my truck didn't stop either. So now I'm like, oh shit. As people crossing the crosswalk, right, to go cross the street, and you know I'm coming to a stop sign, and I'm pumping my brakes, and I'm downshifting, and I'm add, subtract, multiply, divide, carry the remainder. I'm doing whatever I can do to try to, you know, stop this vehicle. I don't even know how I got the vehicle stopped. I got cruised up just over the little yellow line. I'm sitting there sweating like, man. And I'm homeless, no money, dead tags, no insurance, okay? Zada zilch, right? And anyway, when I got an opportunity to have a break in the pedestrian traffic, kept my transmission down in my, I think, first and second gear, and I went real slow, and I coasted, you know, kind of coasted through the next two stop signs, and got through to the place where I parked, and I eased over to the curb and just basically went up against the curb and got curb rash on my rims and let the curb stop me. And sat there and parked. Now this was after I've been through all this other shit, just losing my storage unit and shaving at McDonald's bathrooms. I mean, see, this is the thing. I would go to McDonald's bathrooms in the morning to shave. I had razors I had gotten from the dollar store. Pack of razors, which I think I used the same razors for 6 months. And I would go to McDonald's and I would kind of splash, wash up, and shave in the morning. And before I lost my storage unit, I would kind of iron my clothes with books. I would put books on my clothes and leave them there. Kind of. I mean, I was the cleanest homeless Negro you ever saw, for real. And anyway, trying to be resourceful. It was like I started playing a game, like a competition. Like, am I gonna let this beat me? Am I gonna let this break me down? Am I just gonna become dirty and smelly and just lose all my... No, I did the exact opposite. It's like I became, through the difficulty, I actually became stronger. And it's one of the principles of aviation that we used to teach people when I belonged to the summer camp. We taught kids about aviation, life skills. That it's the resistance that makes you stronger. When you have weight, and you put that weight on your arm and you lift it up, it's the resistance from the weight that tears the muscle fibers that make you build muscle, that overnight when you sleep and your muscles repair themselves, they get stronger. And it's the difficulty that actually makes you better. And it's interesting that most people go through their lives trying to avoid difficulty, trying to take the easy way, trying to always like circumvent any type of difficulty, not realizing is that's the thing you need to run straight up into. Sounds crazy, doesn't it? Check this out. One of the principles of aviation, lift, right? Basic principle, lift, right? When the wind on the top of the wings, wind goes under the wings faster than it goes over the top of the wings, and over the airfoil, it creates lift, right? You put the flaps down and put the flaps up, it creates lift, right? But you have to take off into the wind. People always say, yeah, you know, the little greeting cards, let the wind always be at your back. No, guess what? In order to get proper lift, you actually have to take off into the wind, right? So you actually want that resistance blowing in your face, like that wind coming right into your face, because that actually lifts you up. It creates more of a, you know, a lift effect because of all of that wind and all of that turbulence. It makes the plane go up. And guess what? All that wind and all that turbulence and all that difficulty that you face in your life, if you're channeling it properly, it actually lifts you up and makes you go higher in your character, in your spirit, in your beingness, in your thought, in your approach, in your appearance, in the way you articulate, the way you deal with children, the way you deal with old people, your sensitivity to the energy in the environment. All these things become razor sharp. So when you're dealing with people who operate at very, very low energy vibrations, they can't even see or hear you, really. And it's like the lady told a man in Avatar when he came back on Baruch Makto. And they're like, Baruch Makto. Everybody was afraid. It was only one in 3,000 sons. And Baruch Makto. Oh, we thought he was a traitor, but he's Baruch Makto. And he came back and she said, I see you. He said, I see you. See, before her fear kept her from seeing who he really was. And see, fear, doubt, unbelief, and low energy vibrations can make people just straight blind to who you really are. They want to see you. They can't. They actually want to see you, but they can't. And it's kind of crazy because it's really kind of crazy because at the end of the day, people sometimes can't get out of their own way. Like they're their own worst enemy. Like a lot of women in relationships, they have no clue, man. They have no clue. They're going strictly by visual, right? And they don't know this cat that they with is not the one. They find out later after they go through 2-3 divorces, bad relationships, abuse, whatever. Girl, yeah, but you chose him because you couldn't see, you were blind. And a lot of people go through that in life and in not just in relationships, but in professions and all different types of scenarios because they haven't been through those difficult times that actually shave all that bullshit off of you. right? It shaves all that nonsense off of you. And none of us is perfect. None of us ever has it all figured out. But when you go through those difficult times, like not knowing where you're going to sleep, not knowing what you're going to eat, waking up with police pointing guns in your face, and creatively trying to maneuver around the city because you know your registration is bad, your license is bad, your tags are bad, like everything is bad. And you maneuver around the city like you the big dog. What? I was notorious, man, for going to my storage unit, putting on a nice outfit and going to church, yo. And it's not like I was trying to front and be something I was. I just refused to let this shit break me down to like, oh, woe is me. Oh, I'm so help me. No, hell no. I had homeless niggas on the street asking me for money. I'm like, nigga, you need to loan me $5, okay? Matter of fact, make it 10. Nigga, I saw you out there panhandling. I never panhandled. I never asked anybody for anything. And see, that's another thing that is a problem sometimes with pride. Sometimes we need to ask for help and we don't. But the bottom line is that homeless situation, man, it turned me into another type of being. Because it's almost like life tried to break me, and instead of breaking me, it ended up making me. It made me stronger, it made me wiser, it made me better, it made me more hungry. So now, even at the age I am, right? And I have friends of mine that you know, we were high school athletes in superior condition. You know, fat, flabby, and sick, and got this and that, and gout, and whatever, all this shit. Because they lost the razor's edge, they got too fucking comfortable. And the fortunate thing for me is I never got to that point, even when I was doing good, I never got to that point where I just totally relaxed and got to this life of ease where I just ate anything and drank anything and just lay back and belch and let my belly get big and just No, I just never, I just always was on that edge. Like, I remember what it is to be hungry. I remember what it is not to have food. I remember what it is not to have money. I remember what it is to have no gas in the car. And you just ride around with your gas light on for days. And it's nothing but the supernatural power of the one most high that's putting some type of fumes in your tank. Because you know you ain't putting no gas in this joint. I remember I rode all the way from Baltimore, Maryland to Prince George County, Maryland, Bowie, with my gas light on in a Lincoln Navigator. Now, you and I both know Lincoln Navigator drinks some gas. If there's any truck that drink, that mother sucker drinks some gas. I hate minivans. I'm sorry. I despise minivans. I really do. Because there's always somebody riding up on your bumper in a minivan. They know they can only go 62 miles an hour. I'm riding a car that'll go 140. You gonna ride on my bumper? Get the hell out. Anyway, long discourse. Hope I'm not just all over the place. But at the end of the day, I want you to know that it's the difficulty that makes you stronger. And if people don't understand who you are, it's because they haven't been where you've been. They haven't seen what you've seen. And stop trying to explain yourself and make these dodo brain people feel comfortable. You know, stop trying to justify to them your position and explain yourself, because there's no explanation that your words could ever make clear to them, because they're at such a base level of energy. There's nothing you could say that would explain to them who you are and why you are the way you are and the position that you take. And they haven't been where you've been. They haven't been, you know, in the belly of the beast or the mouth of the lion, and they've gone through life trying to make everything comfortable and trying to be comfortable. They haven't been willing to take an ass kicking and get up and take another ass kicking and get up and be alone and be depressed and deal with it and be hungry and not ask nobody for nothing and fucking just deal with it and get on their face and pray and ask the Creator to show them and see, that's the second video. We're gonna have to do a part 2. The second part of this video, the follow-up video, I'm gonna talk about some of those scenarios where those are times when you can really hear from the Creator and the Creator can really talk to you, and if you really tune in, you can get some supernatural answers to your problems that you didn't even know were right there staring you in your face. You didn't even know. But it comes to those quiet times, those alone time. Most people don't spend no time alone. They go from work to school to home to this to that to the kids to that to the club meeting to church to the fraternity meeting to this one to that one and blah blah blah. And it's never any quiet time. And at the end of the day, you don't have quiet time. You can't even hear from God. Like, you're crowding God out. You know, you are literally ego edging God out. You know, have your life full of a whole bunch of stuff that doesn't matter, and the Creator himself can't even talk to you. So I say to you that sometimes those homeless situations, sometimes those difficult situations, all that turbulence, like I said, that turbulence, that wind turbulence, is coming to make you better. Not make you bitter, make you better. So I encourage you, if you've gone through it, if you're going through it, or you have gone through it in your life, hey, understand something. You're in a finishing school. That's a very exclusive school that when you get out of that motherfucker, yo, you are going to be one cold-blooded beast. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean that in the most positive way. Like, you're going to be a force to be reckoned with. So you stay right there. Don't try to avoid it. You stay right there. And you pray and you ask the Creator to show you the way. And he will. And when he does, when that sky opens up, it's going to blow your mind, man. It's going to blow. And you'll see supernatural things happen. You'll be able to buy cars with no money, houses with no credit. Like, hey, I've done it. I've done it. Like, people say, I don't know why I'm doing this, but it's just something about you. It's all the angelic forces you got around you that came to your rescue when you was out there alone. And you was calling on the Lord, and he heard you and he delivered you out of your fear. Don't make me preach, because you know I will. Anyway. It's Rough Rev, America's Credit and Finance Drill Sergeant. Just sending you love, saying keep your head up. That where there's a will, there's a way. And remember, if you always do what you've always done, you always have what you have right now, the only way to change your results is, in fact, to change your actions. Get out there and do something new. Try something new. Get on your face and pray. How about fast? How about that? Talk to the Creator. Stop talking to your girlfriend, your boyfriends, and your broke cousins, and talk to the Creator. And he'll show you the way. He knows where all the gold is. You might want to check with him and ask him. All right? All right. One love. Peace.